G Show with your host, yours truly, Grant Kruger, and we have a special guest.
Hi, welcome in, welcome in. Well, this is my old house. And then the montage starts. So this is my old house. If you didn't know, I live in Tennessee, more specifically Brentwood, which is a suburb of Nashville. If you live in California, it's kind of like the same Brentwood, like in California, but like for Tennessee. It's gonna be very echoey because there's no furniture or rugs in here. And I don't really want to do like the sound overlay where I like hold the phone and like do that or whatever. So sorry about the sound quality. I'm just gonna be taking you through all the different rooms, showing you which house I grew up in and like what each of these rooms kind of like used to look like. If I have any pictures, I'll insert them as we pass them. So coming this way, this is like the foyer, I guess you could call it. It's just like the entryway. Over here, we used to have our dining room. And I don't think it really changed that much. We pretty much had the same table and like dishware cabinet the whole time. The only thing that changed was just like the paint color. So it started off as like a yellowish, like cream color as I remember. And then when we got our first renovation, it was like this reddish, like patterned look. And then since the renovation, we got a painted taupe with the entire house. And then this chandelier also used to be different. It used to be a lot more ornate. And then of course we have the little bay window here. We actually don't spend that much time in the dining room at all. The only time we used it was for like 1 or 2 Thanksgivings and then like a themed dinner or 2. And then we can come this way. This entryway also pretty much stayed the same. It had the same like rug right here and it had a different chandelier up there. It's a little bit simpler now, but it used to be this like dish bowl thing. And then this was living room. We have a living room and a family room. This was the living room. We used to have this grand piano that has since been moved to the new house, a black Yamaha grand piano. And we would keep all of our piano books in that cabinet and also in the piano bench. And then we had this chaise lounge couch right here that everyone used to compliment when they would come over and they'd always want to sit in it for no reason. We could also call this our music room because we would also just store Olivia's like cello and stuff right here, and like our karaoke machine would sit in that corner. We have this big table, this like round, like cracker looking seating, like ottoman chair, and then we have a gold chair right there. And of course we have a fireplace and this gigantic mirror, which would be the perfect place to put a TV, but we never did that. And then when I go over to people's house, I always like look at their living room and I'm like, where does the Christmas tree go? Like when it's not Christmas. Christmas tree went right there in that corner. And yeah, that's the living room. You could follow me this way. So in other houses, this would be called like the breakfast nook. We call this just like the kitchen table. This is where we ate all of our meals. We just had a table with a leaf so you could extend it if you wanted more people. We have that like 3-paned window, which gives a lot of great natural light. And then we have like bar chairs over here on the bar for the kitchen. And then this is our kitchen. So when it first started out, again, it had that same like yellowish that the dining room had. And when we renovated it the first time, it had this like Tuscan, Italian, kind of like chuggy, like decor. So we had like the little like olive oil bottles with like the herbs in it that you never open, and then this like pear painting here, a different backsplash. We still had the same granite countertop the whole time, but the cabinets were dark or like medium wood.
We have this picture over here.
There's a what?
There's a picture over here.
Oh yeah, like if you could make a kitchen out of this painting, that's what it looked like. And then this kitchen island also looked different. It didn't have this countertop, it had a black countertop. It basically kind of looked like what this would look like if it was an island. So it had like top tier and a couple of bar stools around it. And then this used to be a metal sink, same like dishwasher and everything. So it was a little bit more closed in, I guess. We had more room for the family room, which is right behind you. So this was where our family room was. It went through like a couple different phases. When we first moved into the house, I remember it had, again, that same like cream color that the house started off with, but we had this big media console that went like right here, and we had this gigantic, like thick, heavy Panasonic like TV that would sit right here. But then when we got our first renovation done, we changed it to face this way, which is where the TV was and the fireplace was. And I can't remember what the rug looked like. I think it was like a brownish, like florally look. And we had 2 brown couches, which are now at our new house, which we're gonna get rid of, but we have them still. And they're like these down couches. We had like a red chair. No, the red leather chair went there. And then we had 2 wooden, like yellowish floral chairs that sat right here. And I remember tripping and getting stitches because I hit my head on one of them. And then we had this big brown round coffee table with little stools around it. And then in these 2 corners, we had black, like high tables with some stools and some lamps on them, which are at our new house now in the bonus room. We've had this kitchen island for a while. I think we got it, I think when I was a freshman in high school. It was when we got our second renovation done. And we used to have like bar stools right here. So this is where I would do my homework every single day in high school. And then Ben would do his homework at the kitchen table. This is where my mom's like desk used to be, so every like stationary piece we had. Did she do work here? Not that often, but because she had a table in her room. But like this is just the catch-all for stuff that we had. And then this part is a little bit more closed in, so hopefully the sound is better. But this is our first bathroom. This is our powder bath. We had this like ornate wallpaper in here. It was like green and it had like people on it. From like a Regency era. I just remember there were these ladies like sitting and there's this kid with like a water bin and stuff like that. And then since that, we had our second renovation, which painted the walls navy blue. We had this big painting here and we went for like gold, what is it called? Like detailing. And then this is our pantry. This is where we kept all the food and all of our kitchen appliances. It's pretty much stayed the same. It hasn't really changed at all. We used to have a whiteboard here that we didn't do anything with, and a craft cabinet, but that's the only thing that we're missing from this pantry besides food. And then over here is our laundry room. This also pretty much stayed the same the whole time we were here. Just like dryer, washer, cleaning supplies, coat racks for like our shoes and our coats, and then closet for like our winter clothes. Then also like where the media stuff goes for the TV in the family room, but that's pretty much it. Last thing over in this wing of the house would be the garage. We only changed it twice, but it used to have gray concrete flooring, not this like pebbly flooring. And it used to be just for 2 cars before me and my siblings could start driving, so we just had my mom's car, my dad's car, and then this was used for storage. I remember we used to have like the elliptical machine, like a bike. We used to have like the barbecue like stuff just like stored here, and then we had like our old white refrigerator right there. We always have like 2 fridges in houses like these, so that's where we're at. On the way to the master bedroom, I'll just show you this. This is what we called our butler's pantry. We literally just kept like cookie cutters and like small like dishware in here, and then my parents don't really drink that much, so we didn't have that many wine bottles to store here either, but that's where they would go if we did. Here is the master bedroom. This is just a closet for more coats and stuff, but that's pretty much it. This is the master bedroom, the least echoey room because of the carpeting. But yeah, this room had a lot of decorations. I guess we can start over here. We used to have a gold couch over here. We had a big armoire that would open up and it would have a TV, and then like an exercise ball would chill over there. And we had this like prayer altar right here that we would sit by and pray the Divine Mercy and the Rosary every single day. My dad's dresser would sit right here. We would have the big bed, the king size bed here, 2 night tables, and then a big chair would sit right there. And then after the renovation, when this room got painted taupe, we got this built, and then just like new furniture. So instead of a gold couch, it was a white couch, and just like different bed and side tables and stuff like that. And then over here in the master bathroom, I think the master bathroom actually didn't change that much before this renovation. So we used to have a tub that would extend all the way from here to here, and it would just be an inset tub. and it had jets in it, and that's literally the only thing that changed. And then we changed it to not clawfoot, but you know what I mean. And then actually there used to be this big round table in here with this like plant thing on it. And then the shower used to be enclosed with a wall. It didn't used to be all glass, but then we since moved that. And yeah, then they had a walk-in closet, like a his and hers section. That was my dad's side, this is my mom's side. And then this is our little storage area that we'd come into when there were tornadoes sometimes because our basement wasn't fully finished yet. Wait, walk towards it real quick. Yeah, it can do that now. So that's unfortunate that they got that done right before they sold the house, or put it up for sale. All right, and you can follow me up to our first, like, mid-level landing. This room, in all of its glory, used to be the computer room, or like the study. So we had this big table and our family computer where we'd play Webkins, Nancy Drew, Pajama Sam, and then also just like studying, like using the internet and stuff on the family computer. Not really much else to remember. A Christmas tree used to sit there. We had a big leather couch there, more ottomans, and maybe like a lamp. But then since the renovation, my mom changed this into what she calls her sanctuary. So she basically moved the altar from her room to this area. So it sort of turned into like her study. So there's a desk here, a bunch of like holy paraphernalia, big mirror, lots of seating. So then we moved our prayer stuff up to this room. And this is also where she would do her prayer stuff. And then when my grandma comes and stays with us, she'll usually spend most of her time here as well. Alright, while we're up here, I'll just mention that before the last renovation that we had, like the most recent one, this entire top floor used to be carpeted, and now it is hardwood. So you can come in here. This room started out as Olivia's room, so it used to be sort of like a magical, like princessy vibe. So she had like white furniture and like a canopy and stuff like that. And then when she got her room redone for the first time, it was more like a groovy vibe. So she had like polka dots on the wall, the lamp that would like do that sort of thing. I'll put a picture, and yeah, just like fun paint colors and stuff like that. This was her walk-in closet. A lot of space here. And then if that were not enough space, she also had this storage space over here. We primarily use this for storage, but when this room transformed into Mitchell's room, we decided to use this as a studio. And yeah, she got it renovated a second time, and she got the paint colored like taupe, kind of like the outside and downstairs. And she got a little bit more like mature furniture pieces. And then when she started living in New York and Los Angeles and she stopped coming home, that's when Mitchell moved into this room. Because then Ben was staying in his old room, which we'll get to in a second. But this is her bathroom as well. Not much changed in here before this renovation. It was pretty much just a standard bathroom with a tub shower combo and a curtain, but now it's a standing shower and we have this new vanity. Yeah. This is our banister. This is where my dad would hold me on his shoulders and he would lean over like this and scare the crap out of me. This is our second staircase that we have coming up to the upstairs. Those stairs used to be carpeted, and I pushed my cousin down the stairs one time. Now this room used to be my room. It used to look very different. It actually used to be a shared room between me and Ben, so we both had twin beds. His bed would go here, and my bed would go here. And we even had bunk beds at some point that went on this side or this corner. But then after the first renovation, Olivia's room, or like when he moved into the bonus room, I just basically kept the walls the same. They used to be painted this like blue stripe colors a little much. And the theming of our room used to be like frogs and like a frog pond, so we had a lot of frog stuff. But then when I got it renovated for high school, I got the walls painted white, and I had this like Urban Outfitters obsession where I would just try to get everything that was like marble or grid pattern or rose gold, hence why the curtain rod is rose gold or like copper. And then this also used to be like blinds. There used to be like these like curtain rods, and then they would hang down, and now it's just a blackout curtain. And then this is my closet. Pretty standard, not much going on in there. Here we have a 2-person bathroom. So this bathroom did change quite a bit because it used to be painted blue. It had like our frog curtain and our frog bath mat, and then this used to be different, and we used to have a full mirror right here instead of 2 separate wall set mirrors. And then when I got it renovated, it got painted white, and then the theming was again like marble, rose gold, gray pattern. And then this is the last renovation that we did with a standing shower, a new vanity, and then like new tiling on the floor too. They used to be like the square tiles. And then the door opens up to the hallway, which is really creepy when you have siblings chasing you because you can't lock one door and be safe. You have to lock both doors at the same time.
Guys, let's go out the door, okay? We're just gonna have to make a run for it. We're gonna just slam it.
And then this is a bonus room. This is literally like the Korean prop. Like this is where all the sleepovers happen. This is where like we would play when the babysitter would babysit us. It went through a lot. It used to be carpeted completely. We had like a bookshelf there, a giant couch here, like a big media console here as well. Like the big media console I was talking about in the family room, we moved it up to here. We used to play like dodgeball in here. We would film a bunch of like home videos in here as well. I don't know, it was just a good room, good memories. And then when me and Ben stopped living in the same room, he moved over here. So this was his room for a while, and we moved to the twin bunk beds into here as well. The biggest thing about this room was just the memories associated with it and the amount of stuff that we got done in here. Then this used to be like our toy closet. We had like, I think a few more shelves in here, but then we removed them and it became just like Ben's closet. And then this is Mitchell's old room. I think when he first got it renovated, it used to be like safari themed. So there was like an orange and like cream wall. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding, oh yeah, there were like skateboard shelves. There's an elephant in here at one point. There's this creepy ass samurai cutout for the longest time and his taekwondo belts. So there's a desk here, a dresser, and a big mirror. And then when it got changed to Ben's room, I think he just got the walls painted blue, and then everything else pretty much stayed the same because he doesn't really care what his room looks like. This is where his closet was. That's literally the same thing as mine. And turning around, this is his bathroom. Again, like all the other bathrooms that used to have the tub shower combo, now it's a standing shower, and then, you know, toilet sink per usual. And then detail, this just used to be storage. We don't need to like go inside, but like, I don't know, it will always look like that, and we just put stuff in there. The only other thing that we're missing is just the linens closet, which is right here. But we can go downstairs now. I mean, also while we're here, I can touch on this, just because we're back here. But this is the deck. Yeah, I didn't really do anything up here because we never really had seating. Like we didn't do anything with it except like change the color of the deck because it was like molding through. Everyone loves the basement. And this is usually something cool that my friends like to see because in California, most of, if not all of the houses don't have a basement. So they're kind of like jazzed when they find out that I have a basement. So this basement is super cool. We had a bunch of game tables. I mean, I guess we still have 2. There used to be a ping pong table right here to add to our collection. And then we have a pool table and then the foosball table back there. We have a bunch of sports stuff, which I guess we didn't take it down ever, but it literally is just giving off man cave vibes. Powder bath, this looks the exact same. Black toilet, lovely. I should mention that this basement has not changed just because we got it renovated not like super long after we got the house, but a decent time after we got the house. Over here, we just have a big table for eating. This is also where some of the themed dinners happen. And this is our bar. Not much to talk about here. Anytime we needed to entertain, this is where we would have like the parties and stuff. We would have like catering here and like drinks in the fridge and stuff like that. And that was pretty much it. This is where our movie theater room is. So we have projector screen and a projector. And then, I don't know if these are plugged in. Yeah, they probably are. But these are just recliners. They can switch out. They go all the way back, but I'm not gonna do all that. Then out this way, this is just underneath the deck if you need to get like a geographical look or like idea of it. Again, not much has changed back here. We didn't really do anything in the backyard. It was mostly either front yard or like driveway or something like that. This area used to be an exercise place, so we had our, what is that called? Like reformer? No.
Back decompressor.
Yeah, the thing that you like lean back in, and then our elliptical machine was moved here. Then this was the guest bedroom. For the entire first half of my freshman year, I slept down here because mine and Ben's rooms were getting redone. So we had a big bed, big king size bed, side tables, couch, dressers. There's also a walk-in closet back here. Yeah, but then since changing the study into my mom's sanctuary, my dad moved his work down here, so he had his desks here, and this is where he did all of his meetings. Our guest bathroom, this was what I thought was the coolest thing because we had this bowl sink right here, and this like cool like water pump looking faucet. And then we also have a standing shower here, which is also cool because we have not only one shower head, but we also have the rainfall shower head, which is incredibly inefficient, but it looks cool, so. The last memory is this bookshelf, which used to be filled with all of my dad's paraphernalia. Used to have like football stuff and like a Cake Boss picture, I don't know.
Now it's Buddy's greatest challenge yet.
We want to honor the Heisman Trophy Trust.
But the biggest thing about it is that when you unlock it, you actually push it in to reveal our storm shelter. To get an idea, this is basically what the basement looked like before we got it redone. This is where we would spend our time when the tornado warnings would happen. So we had couches down here that we would just sit on, and then another storage area in here. And fun fact, I actually acted in 2 short films using this space. One was where I was acting as a goat in Ben's version of Citizen Kane, and another was when I was playing my clone in Olivia's movie Thief. So, that's that. Oh, and then this is where I would lock people in the basement and I'd turn off the lights. So that's my old house tour. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. All my socials are going to be linked in the description box below. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified next time that I post. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Okay, this is the garage. And start out in the 2-door opening. Okay, upstairs. This is messed up. Told Paul about this before. Asked him to fix it, so they're gonna fix that.
We have Mitchell. start from the same place. What was your favorite part of this adventure?
Mine was the part when we told Swiper to stop stealing our stuff.
What about you, Mitchell?
That was my favorite part too.